is Bert Newton welcoming you to the Don Lane Show, seen throughout Australia on the National Line Network and affiliate stations. Tonight, Don's special guests are American actor Walter Matthau and top British interviewer Michael Parkinson. And now, here's Don.
Sorry, now, hello. Hi. How are you? Hi. Hi. Oh, my God. Better get some reactions now. Hi, and welcome to the Don Lane Show, which, according to a recent survey, is watched by over 40% of the viewers in bed. And to that 40%, I'd like to say, no fooling around till the commercial breaks. That's it. Did you see? You get some weird news in the newspapers. I tell you, really, in the papers today, there's a story that a motel owner in Las Vegas now, walked into a room and found a man's body in bed with 16 bullet holes, 12 stab wounds, and a horse's head lying next to it. Police say the man died of natural causes. And obviously, so do I, die of natural causes, all by myself. Tonight, by satellite, one of the finest and most popular actors in movies today, Walter Matthau, will be with us. And it'll be terrific. And he's also going to have with him his 7-year-old co-star in his new motion picture, which is called Little Miss Marker. And we'll be joined live in the studio by England's master of the talk show. And he's back here once again for the ABC, and once again to join us, Michael Parkinson. Will be with us. And we've got a dozen or so kids in tonight. They're going to astound you with their ability in the martial arts, particularly one which is called Taekwondo. And they're going to demonstrate it for us as well. These little kids. You, Taekwondo.
Yeah, me, of course.
Really?
I hold one of its highest honors ever.
What's that?
The pink belt.
No. That's the black belt.
You have your fun, I'll have mine. In actual fact, an uncle of mine, he received the black belt in Taekwondo.
Expert, was he?
Oh, absolutely. Don could do anything. He went to the gym every day.
Is that right?
He got to the stage where he could actually knock a man out with his bare feet.
With his bare feet?
With his...
He could knock a man out with his bare feet.
That means a lot of things.
Yes, it certainly does.
Honestly, with his bare feet.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wouldn't want to mess with him.
Oh, it didn't do him much good.
Why not?
Well, he's coming home from the gym one night, and 3 guys jumped him.
Yes.
And by the time he got his shoes and socks off, they killed him.
They really
you know, yeah.
I thought they would. With his bare feet. Well, okay. I'll keep my foot out for you or something like that. Normie Rose sings tonight. And he's going to be here. And the one and only Kamal.
Ah. Wonderful. He's a wonderful... In his case, it becomes elephant.
Yes. I'll keep my trunk out for you.
Well, he's got a great new album out, Don.
Yes,
which
he does.
Knockout.
Yes.
Treat Her Like a Lady, it's called. It's a ripper.
In fact, he's singing that song tonight. That's the lead song.
Oh, beautiful.
It'll be good. And if you remember, or if you were a fan of the immortal Buddy Holly, then I think you're going to like the music we've got for you right now. Here's a tribute to the late, great Buddy Holly. Put your hands together.
the day when you make me cry. Well, you say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, 'cause that'll be the day when I die. Well, you give me all your loving and your turtle doving, and all your hugs and kisses and your money too. Well, you know you love me, baby, just to hear you tell you maybe, or that someday, well, I'll be through. Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye, yeah, that'll be the day when you make me cry. Well, you say you're gonna leave. You know it's a lie, because that'll be the day when I die. All my love and all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you are a man for me. All my life, well, I've been waiting. Well, tonight there'll be no hesitating, no boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world can see that you are a man for me. Stars appears and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart is a-calling. Every bit of loving makes everything right. And I'm gonna see my baby tonight. Well, all of my love and all of my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, the world will see that you are a man for me. Yeah, you are a man for me. We will be back with Michael Parkinson and a lot of fun in just a minute. Hang in there, will you? Okay.
Thank you very much, and welcome back. If you've just joined us, we've got a jam-packed show for you tonight, so we hope you'll stay with us throughout the evening. My first guest has been described as the master of Britain's talk shows. For that matter, a lot of places. He's a multi-gifted and probing interviewer. He always manages to relax his subjects, and he gets the most out of them. He's also a columnist, an author, a narrator, radio star, television producer, a passionate cricket supporter, and besides all of that, he's a dedicated family man. And he's also gaining quite a reputation from his female viewers as being one of the most admired and sought-after men on television today. He's on his second visit to Australia, and currently he's recording his second 13-part series for the ABC Parkinson in Australia. He's also paying his second visit to us, I'm happy to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, would you make him feel at home, please? Michael Parkinson here.
What's all this thing about most sought-after man among female viewers?
I read in the paper, we did a quote here the other night.
I saw it.
The most sought-after bit of...
No, you came up with that old Tyro quote about being the thinking girl's crumpet.
That's right, that's what they said you were.
I wish somebody had buried that quote dead and under 6 feet. It's
Who
terrible.
gave it to you? Who said the
some
thinking...
silly lady journalist in Britain did it, you know, and you've had to live with it ever since.
No, you've had to live with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd rather be known as a working girl's Rissole.
Does it bother you being they quote you as being... Well,
But it only bothers me in the sense that it disturbs family relationships. I mean, the wife's likely to turn to you after an abortive attempt and say, but you are the thinking girl's crumpet.
Right.
I mean, you are a sex symbol.
Right.
What happened?
Yeah. That's the truth. I guess if you're a sex symbol, you probably always have to prove it at home. That's
Well, I did an interview once, actually, with Henry Kissinger, last series, actually, and I said to him, is power an aphrodisiac? And he said, yes. That's all he says, Henry Kissinger, yes. Yeah. And I said, do you know it to be so? He said, yes. I said, then you are a sex symbol? He said, yes. I said, well, what's it like being a sex symbol? He said, once they've called you that, you don't have to prove it anymore.
It's a lovely way
That's
out.
right,
It really
absolutely.
works. What about the second visit here now? I keep picking up the newspapers and reading that it's a big secret about who's going to be on your show.
It's
and
no secret at all. They sort of play ducks and drakes, don't they? And some sort of silly game goes on. No, I've done 5 shows already. I'm doing 13. And I've done 5. I've done a one-man show with Robert Helpman, which I always wanted to do, kind of sort of putting down his life. I mean, it's a remarkable international artist. I sometimes think Australia doesn't realise, what a
He really isn't known, Robert Helpman isn't really known as one of your foremost guests on talk shows. Well, he's into...
Well, I reckon as a talk show host that, I mean, he's the kind of guy I want on the show. I mean, he's been in the business for 50-odd years. He's articulate, he's funny, he's a marvellous raconteur, a magnificent mimic. Nobody's put him down before. Nobody's set it down on tape. This marvellous thing now, this videotape, you can put down all these great artists on video. And in 100 years' time, people will say, well, I know what Robert Helpman was like. And there it is. And it's a staggering thought. I'd love to know what W.G. Grace was like, or Napoleon Bonaparte. If you videotape
Gee,
them.
that's really a good thought, isn't it?
Isn't
If
it?
you would
Yeah.
have, if there would have been videotape from those days. I mean, we have to depend on old tin type, whatever you call that process. What was that old process?
I don't know what it was.
Tin plate type.
But it's also, it's a daunting thought, isn't it? I mean, imagine you and I being put down and reread in 50 years' time.
No, thanks. I think they'd bury it again if they dug it up. They
My
wouldn't.
God, what's that about? Yeah.
I once ran into Robert Helpman at the airport. He was wearing a three-quarter length mink-lined coat.
He's exotic.
Yes, I would
That
say,
is
to
for
say the
sure,
least,
yeah.
yes.
But I've done a show with Don Dunstan and Robin Archer. I've done a show with Barry Humphries, which is a show that's leading off the series on Saturday. And I've done some shows I've been very pleased with. I feel a lot happier this time around Australia. I mean, last year I felt a bit like a sort of Martian. I mean, we've got a common language and a common heritage, I suppose. But it's very difficult coming here and doing a talk.
It is also, it's a great tribute to you and the popularity of you, because coming off the ABC, you don't, and I'm not demeaning anything, it's just that there is not a great bulk of audience that tunes into the ABC for many
Well, we got fairly good ratings.
You did very well,
I mean,
actually, yes, that's what I'm saying.
I think the phrase is that we stuffed the commercial channel across the, as they say in the business. No, I mean, I was amazed about that. I mean, it did very, very well indeed, and I was astonished. I was particularly astonished too at the reaction I got in Australia. The ABC have been showing my shows. They brought them back to 1972. And I arrived at Sydney Airport last year, and I got off the aeroplane, and I didn't know they'd been going back that far. And I met a woman who did a double take, and she said, "It is, isn't it?" She said, "Michael Parkinson." I said, "Yes." She said, "My God, you've aged." And what they'd done was they'd shown a show the night before, 8 years old,
Tell me the truth. I want to get off the subject. I want to change subject just for a second. Did you stay up till midnight and 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the FA Cup the other night?
I stayed up till 5 o'clock celebrating. My money was on West Ham.
Yes, mine was too.
Was it?
Actually, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know how many people stay. It's amazing, you get a guy will stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning to watch the FA Cup final, but his wife takes him to a Tupperware party and he falls asleep at 8:30. It's really weird.
Yeah. It's an extraordinary ritual, isn't it? I was amazed that it had that kind of following in Australia. I was amazed that the channel stayed open, that people actually sat up till 2:30 in the morning.
They used to carry it on 7 and the ABC,
Right.
on the 2 networks. They only carried it on the ABC this year, but I'm amazed at that spectacle. That's the last really great people spectacle in the world, of course. But
It is. I mean, that's for sure. There's a lot of pageant about it, and it's not too distorted yet by commercialism. I mean, it's not. There's one problem with it, of course. I mean, I wouldn't go to Wembley myself as a fan now. The last time I went was 6 years ago. I wouldn't go unless it was shelled for 3 days beforehand by the Royal Artillery.
Is that?
Oh, I mean, there's the biggest gathering of psychopaths and yobbos you've ever been to in your life. I mean, it really is. And I mean, the behaviour of the crowd is only enhanced and promoted by the behaviour of the players on the field in some circumstances. I mean, it's very, very sad that this great pageant, and you're right in saying that, it's one of the great sporting pageants, is marred nowadays by that kind of crowd behaviour. I think you've seen the newsreels, I mean, tonight, what happened at the Scottish Cup final.
No, I didn't see it.
Well, it's amazing what happened.
But don't tell me the result. I might get it on tape.
Oh, you don't know the result?
I don't know.
No,
No.
Celtic won.
You don't know what I go through. Hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Just one thing. You know what the fun part of watching a soccer match from England is trying to figure out what they're singing in the stands all the time.
Yes.
And there's one thing that I can never. They sing, we shall not be moved, we shall not be moved. And I hear, in the FA Cup, we shall. What are those words in between?
I think they're deliberately distorted. You can possibly do them on this show here. The chants in the main are obscene. And that's been the difference, actually. I mean, when I first started watching football, from the age of 5 onward, you got a lot of wit from the terraces. But that's been replaced with now, sadly, and it's a mark of the times, is obscenity. And you actually would not want to take your maiden aunt, or indeed your nearest and dearest, with you to a football match today. I mean, obscenity is the key word, and it's around the ground.
I was watching the match with some friends, and one particular friend said to me he went to see a match. Manchester United is supposed to have the biggest following in England.
Oh yes, they have the most passionate following, apart from Liverpool.
And he said that when they finish the match at home at Manchester United, that they run from the stadium to the bus or the underground, because you don't dare get caught in the streets because they turn cars over and
sure. And the problem about it too, you see, I mean,
and that's when they win.
That's when they win, right?
Yeah, right.
The extraordinary thing about it is that they're kind of these poison dwarfs who go along. I mean, they're not even sort of well-built yobbos. I mean, they're kids of 13 and 14 who cause a problem. I mean, Peter Cook got dusted up about 4 years ago. I mean, he had the cardinal sin at Man United of wearing the Spurs favours. And he was turned over by a gang of 12 kids, the oldest of which he said to me was 12 years old. I mean, they kicked hell out of him.
Did they?
It's terrifying. Last time I went to a football match up in the Midlands, we got into the train coming back, and it was Spurs supporters again. And the train was stopped 15 times between Coventry and London. Police dogs on. They were doing charming things like ripping out the toilets and throwing them through the window. Just clean, wholesome sport.
Yes, right, yeah.
I mean, it's very, very bad. It's very serious, actually.
Letting their energy off.
But it's sad. It's really sad. You would be very ill-advised nowadays in Britain. You'll get a very cosmetic view of British soccer here, I'll tell you. You'd be very ill-advised to take a kid to a football match nowadays. Never mind let him go by himself.
Well, thank goodness, though, and I'm not being condescending, but it is still a family thing in Australia.
Right.
Football matches take the family out.
It's certainly not that. I mean, you wouldn't take your worst enemy to it.
Speaking of sport, the last time you were on the show with me here, we talked about Muhammad Ali, right? And I said, I must sort of go over this. I said to you, you said to me, are you going to interview Muhammad Ali? And I said, I don't know yet, I'm not sure. And then you said to me, oh boy, are you in for it? Because you said you had the worst time with him on the show because you had given him something to read, and you didn't know that he couldn't read.
At the time, he was semi-literate, yes.
Right, and he thought that you were having a shot at him, right?
That's right.
And then there was a very funny tag about you. Well, I'll show you what it was anyway. This is what we were talking about. Here, have a look at this. This was your last appearance here. Your audience doing
it was stunned silence. I mean, because what they were seeing was the dark side of the moon. They were seeing an aspect of him that they'd never seen before, nobody had. Yeah. It wasn't the Joker, the clown. It was somebody who had lost his temper. And I sat there and I thought, either I walk off, in which case there's no show, either I argue back and shout back, in which case we've got two irrational people going at one another, or else I ride it out. And I rode it out. And at the end of the show, he went that way, I went that way. And my father was a Yorkshire miner, as you mentioned, and about 5'7", and very plain spoken and blunt.
Yeah.
Yorkshire miners don't say much, but when they do, they mean it. Yeah. And I went to my dressing room, and I was sitting there, feeling very despondent. And there's a knock at the door, my dad came in. And he looked at me and said, now then. He said, what's the reckon? I said, not much, Dad. He said, what were up with thee? I said, me? I said, what was up with him? He said, nay, it was thee, lad. He said, why didn't I thump him?
Well, I could see where you would be hesitant in thumping up Muhammad Ali, but the truth of the matter is that later that year, I never even knew it was going to happen, quite by accident, we got him, and we were talking to him. He was up in Sydney. We were down here. We had him up on the screen behind us. I got in a punch-up with Muhammad Ali and came out without a scratch. Look at this here. I'll show you what. Hey, I can't thank you enough for doing all of this and for doing the show, and I hope I see you down here for the Logie Awards tomorrow night. It would be a pleasure.
I'll try to make it. Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you for taking the time. The greatest, ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Ali. Our pleasure. That's the safe thing, right? We'll be back in just a minute with Michael Parkinson. We got lots more for you. We got lots more to talk about, too. Hang on. Of course, you and I once talked about people we would like to interview, you know, and we both said the same thing, the man, Sinatra, of course. But You did pull off a coup this year. You got yourself Robert Redford.
Yeah, I did.
How did
Yeah.
that come about?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he's only ever done one interview before in his life. He'd not done it in America, as you know. He did one in Britain about 10 years ago, and he came over and just did my show. And it caused a tremendous furore in the press. I mean, one journalist actually wrote, who'd not been knocked back by Redford, that the reason why Redford didn't want to be seen by the journalists was because he got a face full of pimples. Of course, Redford came in the studio and went to the camera like that, and then went like that, with no makeup, and he looks beautiful, goddamn him. Kicking. But it's rather amazing, because people had accused him. You read the cuttings, and he's got no sense of humour and that sort of thing. And I did 45 of the easiest, nicest minutes I've done in my life with anybody. I mean, I found it to be amazingly humorous, self-deprecating. A lovely story. I was in his dressing room. He'd been in the studio, and he was way around. I was in the dressing room talking to him, and I said to him, well, I'm going in now. And he said, well, I'll follow you in. I know where it is. And he came in late, and he was laughing, and I said, what happened? And I mean, there were people hanging off the rafters, and you imagine the women hanging there, you know.
Yeah, right.
Terrible. And wanting to do awful things.
Disgusting what they'll do for a good-looking... Yes, it's terrible.
We don't have that problem, do we?
No.
And he came in and he said, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? He said, I arrived at the door of the studio, and we had these commissionaires at the BBC, you know, with the medal ribbons and the caps, and, you know. Yeah. And the guy said, ticket? He said, no, I don't have a ticket. And I said, oh, you can't come in here without a ticket, sir. So Redford said, no, but I think you'll find there's a seat in there for me. Redford said, the man said, no, sir. He said, you don't understand. He said, oh, ticket only, this show, ticket. If you haven't got a ticket, you can't come in. So Redford said, look, I do think you'll find a seat for me in there. And the man said, look, sir. He said, do you know who's in the studio today? It's Mr. Parkinson's guest. Robert Redford said, no. He said, Robert Redford, that's who. And it's Robert Redford who's talking to him. Yeah. And Redford had to go to his dressing room, phone up the control box to get his director down to let him in.
That's funny. There was an old cricket story here about that one time. A cricketer trying to get into the match or something, and he had to leap over the gate. But you had there's a funny oft-quoted story from you about the audience and one person starting to walk out on you in the audience one time.
Oh, have you ever had that?
Not in here, no.
Oh,
unfortunately, I haven't.
I
don't know. I keep my back to
I
him.
was doing a show. I was doing a show, and I was doing an interview, and a man stood up and said in a very loud voice, "Crap." I didn't know whether he was asking where it was or making a statement, you know. And I waited, and again he said, this is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. And I thought, come on. And I mean, normally, you sit through that. If the studio roof falls in, you sit through it. I thought, I'm not going to have this. So I turned around, and I stopped the tape, and I said, come on, what's up with you? He said, it's crap. I said, well, you know, why did you come in the first place? He said, I didn't want tickets for your show. He said, I asked for tickets for Morecambe and Wise.
So you've got to, now, let me see. Michael Parkinson is gone, you're in partnership now with David Frost. You're going to be producing shows, you're doing everything. Now they tell me there's an album on
I see. No, well...
No, come on.
Yeah, well,
you're singing, right?
Well, what it is was, they got 10 of us in Britain, 10 faces, who are not normally associated with singing, to record drinking songs. Right, 10 drinking songs. They got Spike Milligan, Oliver Reed.
That's a drinker.
He's not bad, he's world class.
Yeah, sure.
Myself, and I'm probably second division compared to Oliver Reed. Joanna Lumley, and people like that. And they've got this idea of doing drinking songs. And they came to me, and I'd always had this sort of frustration about, I would love to do your sort of song and dance routine like you do, but I can't. I'm totally on music. I love music, but I'm on musical. I only ever sang once before in my life, and that was with Bing Crosby. And Crosby said to me, if you show the slightest sign of talent, son, at the end of this duet with me, I'm going to retire. And I sang with him, and I turned to him and I said, what about it, Bing? He said, guess I'm back on the road again for another 50 years. I mean, it really was lousy. But anyway, I've done this thing. It's coming out in September, and it's a drinking song my father taught me. He only ever taught me the first verse of it because he used to collapse up the first verse, and I only ever got that one. And I don't know where it comes from at all. It's an old wartime, Second World War.
If you sing more than one verse, you can't be drinking very well, right?
Well, what I've had to do is write a second verse, and I've written a second verse specially for this show, actually, because we were talking about the man, Muhammad Ali, right? So I've written one about him. But listen, this is a joke. Please explain, and people who have tendered this position should go to bed or switch off or something, because I've got the most
Just
horrid
before you
voice
do
in
the
world.
song, tell him what happened when you did a boxing, or you saw Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier changing clothes.
Can I tell that
Yes,
story?
yeah, good, tell me.
Can I?
Go ahead. Please, it doesn't matter.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, I did a
If the kids are listening, tell them to go away from it.
I did a film with Ali and Frazier, and I had to train with both of them for the purpose of this film. And if you train with somebody, I mean, you change with them, you shower with them, so you get to know one or two intimate personal details about athletes. And all I can say is that if Ali and Frazier were racehorses, that Ali would win by 3 clear lengths. So that was
Do you want to stand up and do this and do a whole thing?
Can I just finish the story? Because what happened was that I had to interview Ali, and you know there are two ways that you say can go. He can either answer the question or he goes shooting off his mouth, you know. And I was a bit tired and jaded, and I asked him the question, and he just went on about, he went in the routine, you know, I was bigger than Joe Frazier, I was better than Joe Frazier, I was prettier than Joe Frazier. And he went on and on and on for 10 minutes. And it came to the end of it, and I looked at him, I said, you missed something out. He said, what's that? I said, you've got a bigger willy than Joe Frazier. And he looked at me, he said, man, he said, you ain't as dumb as you look.
Serious. Well, this is a treat for me and something I've been looking forward to. This is a song, a song from the one and only Michael Parkinson. Roger, do you want to stand up and do it, or do you want to sit down?
I'd like to just crawl into the chair and do it if I could.
He should have had a drink in his hand.
All those beautiful girls surrounding me, for God's sake. I don't have the thing to do.
Well, what are you going to do with them? They'll only distract you from the music.
Well, that's true. They might distract the audience from my voice.
Yes,
that's
right.
the point.
Okay.
All right, shall I do it
Go
sitting
ahead.
down?
Well, however you want.
I'll sing it to you, Don.
Okay.
Beer is best. Beer is best. Makes you fit, makes you strong. Put some vinegar in your old King Kong. Beer made bonny Britons. Beer will stand the test. What did Winston Churchill say? Beer is best. Ali's best. Ali's best. Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. Down went Frazier, 1, 2, 3. Ali is the greatest. Ali stands the test. What did Muhammad Ali say? As the best. Best. Bum, bum.
Okay.
Terrible debut.
Now,
Oh, my God.
it was terrific.
That's been issued by Oblivion Records.
Yeah, it's got a 47-inch hole in it, right?
That's right, yeah.
I thank you very much for coming,
Don,
Michael. It's a
enjoyed it.
pleasure. And good luck with the series. I hope
very
it's everything you want it to be, and I hope this stay is as pleasant as the last
you,
one.
mate.
You have a great time,
Thank you,
okay?
Don.
Thank you very much. Michael Parkinson. That's lovely, and he's a good sport to do that, too. Ladies and gentlemen, Here You Come Again was a big hit for Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton has a few things more happening for her than Normie does. But everything's a big hit for Dolly Parton. But our own Normie Rowe has got together his own version of the song for us. So if you will give a big hand, here's our favorite singer, Normie Rowe, with Here You Come Again. Look out, man.
Here you come again, just when I've begun to get myself together. You walk right in the door, just like you've done before, and wrap my heart around your little finger. Here you come again, just when I'm about to make it work out without you. You smile those pretty smiles and lie those pretty lies, and pretty soon I'm wondering how I came to doubt you. All you gotta do is smile that smile. There goes all my defenses, leaving it all up to you. And in a little while, out of my mind, filling up my senses. Here you come again, looking better than a body has a right to, shaking me up so that all you gotta know is here I come, baby. Here I go. Here I go again. Yeah. All you gotta do is smile that smile, and there goes all my defenses. Just leaving it all up to you, and in a little while you messing up my mind, filling up my senses. Here you come again, looking better than a body has a right to. Shaking me up so, but all you really know is here you come again, and here I go, here I go.
We got 12 groovy kids with Taekwondo demos. You're gonna love it when you come in.
Here I go.
Here we go again. Like a
No, nice. See, the red eyes are not staring at you now.
Not on yet, Don. How are you anyway?
I'm okay. Yes, we are on.
Are we? Oh, I
Yes,
beg your
the
pardon.
red light's not on.
He's very good, Michael Parkinson.
Oh, yeah, nice, huh?
Nice guy.
You did an interview. You're going to be on a program.
Yes.
Terrific.
Yes, in depth.
In depth.
In depth. He said, how are you? I said, fine, thank you.
Did he ask you really heavy stuff, did he?
Yes, he did. He asked me about you. I told the truth, Don. You may have to leave the country.
Did he ask you how many cans of beer you drink at one sitting?
Oh, you've told the whole of Australia. Bert was over at my place and he drank 9 cans of beer.
12 cans of beer.
Peter Feynman drank the other 3. Good so.
He only held them.
I'll tell everyone what you were doing and with whom.
What was I doing? What are you doing as a
At this very moment?
Yes.
Well, this is Slumberland velour blankets.
No, it's bedspreads.
Slumberland velour blanket bedspreads. They're washable and drip dry. So
Are
that's
they?
what I'm doing.
Oh, I see.
See this pattern?
Yes.
Well, that's it over there in reverse.
That pattern over there?
Yes.
That's the other side of the
It's a
pattern.
beauty.
Oh, you didn't even show this side. Well, that's okay. We'll look at that side of the
Yeah.
pattern. That doesn't bother
Here,
me.
look.
Right. Are there a lot of these?
Oh, look, there are plenty of patterns and colours.
Oh, really? So it's cozy. Soft.
Well, as I've said before, you see, it's as warm as 2 good blankets without the weight.
Let's show both sides. That's that side.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. Look at
That's
that.
that side.
There you go. Right. It doesn't cost anything like 2 blankets to do bedspreads either.
No, it doesn't. About half as much, in fact. Right?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I thought. Right, and that's exceptional value, especially for the exceptional quality of Slumberland.
Too true. So make sure you ask for Slumberland. It's the best blanket I've seen in a long, long time. Yes.
Many Indian come.
Many
later.
Indian come, then I work in Matlock Police and enjoy it. Wonderful. Everything.
It's the best bedspread I've seen in a long time.
It's a blanket.
It's a bedspread.
It's a velour blanket bedspread from Slumberland. See them at Walton's.
Who, the lady?
No.
Oh, the lady. How are you? The upsurge in the martial arts in the past decade has been phenomenal. I mean, every place you look, there are people getting into all these things. Mainly it's due, I think, to the likes of actors like Bruce Lee and David Carradine, you know, from the Kung Fu series. One of the branch of martial arts is Taekwondo, which is Korean in origin. And tonight we're going to see a demonstration of Taekwondo from 10 young children, ranging in age from 9 to 13. They're from the Huk Chui Club here in Melbourne. But first, to tell us about, or a little about the art of Taekwondo, would you please welcome the president of the Australian Taekwondo Association. This is Mr. No. Here, come on. Now, I think maybe we should get some sort of an explanation as to, like, what is the difference between Taekwondo and, let's say, like, karate or something like that?
I think many people they often give a comparison between taekwondo and karate, but it is very hard for me to compare because I'm not actually karate practitioners. However, I think with my knowledge of karate, I think taekwondo is unified one standard systems from the world's organization. However, karate I think still have they haven't unified their systems. And many different styles, and still they are not really technical as well.
So if you were to go to study Taekwondo in Paris, France, it would be the same as if you studied it here in Australia.
That's
is that right?
correct.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
That's right.
The ages of these children now, I was surprised to see how young they are.
This age is average 9 years old, and the children usually start. It depends on clubs. However, start between 7 and 8 years old.
Okay, well, there are young boys and young girls in this.
Yes.
And most parents, I think, would be sending their children to dancing school or something like that. What is the advantage or what is the reason for teaching children this young a martial art like Taekwondo?
Well, Taekwondo is at the moment is a competitive sports, world sports. So if you keep practice, perhaps one day you might become world champion. Or average they go there to do perhaps how to be learn discipline, and also self-defense.
Where self-defense, I can understand.
Yes.
Are they taught not to be aggressive with this? I mean, are they taught to use this defensively? Or?
Well, to learn how to defend yourself, of course, you have to learn how to attack as well. So, which means terminology. Good self-defense is a combination of good offensive and defensive techniques. That's only you can bring up the standard.
Well, when you say discipline, what kind of discipline are you talking about? Is that personal discipline?
Yes, personal discipline, and we have our oaths at the club. Everybody must
An oath?
have it. Yes,
Oh, I
oath
see.
the club.
Which means it was the
which
oath
is,
mean you're not going to misuse what you learn. Is that what you're
That's
saying?
correct.
Right.
And whole idea is getting fitness and improve your techniques, and also you always behave morally. Like
Morally
that.
correct.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to go over here now. We're going to have a look at these children. Now, when we start over here, they're going to be doing an exercise already. What is this exercise we're going to see them doing?
This is you call pattern form work, pre-arranged offensive and defensive techniques, and it's like a syllabus. But as you going higher standard, more difficult movement involved in that
I
form.
see. So these are the basic movements that a child learns first, is that?
That's right.
Right. Okay, we'll have a look here. Say hello to these children over here. It's really nice. This gentleman is, Miss...
This group of people come from selected club, from Mr. O's actually Taekwondo Center. He's the instructor.
Right. And how long does it take a child like to learn this routine, let's say?
I think I would say these people average have done more than 2 years to reach this standard. This is what we call three-step exercise. Here again, using offensive and defensive techniques. And after one is attack and the other one is block against the attack, then give a counter attack.
Oh, I see.
And the whole idea is doing this routine generally improve over your reflex as well as actual ability of defending techniques.
I noticed they never really hit. Is that part of the discipline to teach you to come as close as possible and not hit?
When you judge the technique is good or not is actually control of techniques, which is very important, because good Taekwondo practitioner should be able to control your movement. Even if you want to hit, you should be able to hit. But if you want to just contact without hurting opponent, you should be able to do that.
Right.
That's what you call self-defense techniques. Apart from previously, you have seen how to defend against all kickings or punchings mainly. This case is a different situation now. Someone is now strangling. That case, how you can defend against that.
Right. I noticed that they slap their hands on the floor. What does that mean? What is that for?
That's what we call breaking falling techniques, actually. Doing like that actually disturb the impact. That's why you won't get hurt.
Right, I see.
Next one is going to be breaking techniques.
Oh, right. We've seen this. They just had a big one on the news where the fellow went through all these blocks of ice, but of course, they were much older than this.
One thing, a lot of different martial arts, they breaking things using their head, but Taekwondo is prohibited, not allowed to do such a thing from the organization.
What's the reason for that?
Doing Taekwondo should be beneficial physically and mentally. No good, damaging your head and you become stupid.
Yeah, right.
This is the idea.
And what is this young man's name here?
Kon is going to break over 10 roof tiles using a knife hand, what we call knife hand, double knife hand.
No, those are really roof tiles. We looked at those
Yes.
before, and they're spread out between 2 cement blocks here.
Need a tremendous concentration. Actually, your whole attitude must be very positive. There is no hesitation.
All right, yes. Hey. I'll tell you what, that's
Next is going to be Michael. Michael is going to show high jumping and in the air.
All right, I'm supposed to go over and help with this thing now, aren't I? Yes, okay, all right. Well, you, just a minute. You hold this, and you explain what it's going to be.
All right, thank you. Michael is going to.
You, Michael. Okay, you're going to jump over these, and you're going to break this with your foot. That's what they tell me. Is that right? Yeah? Okay, now I got to hold this with you.
I go the other side. You will compose each other.
You. Like that?
Yes. This makes
Michael is going to jump over from this 5 block of people. Then in the air, he's going to turn 360 degrees. Then break that board using his kicking.
Also, please try
Yep.
to move back.
Okay.
Sit, Michael, pin both back.
I'm not moving. I got my eyes closed.
Michael told me the floor was a little bit slippery before. Before even start, he was a bit nervous about that floor.
I got it. Ah! Nope.
Put it back, please. Also like it. Okay.
No. All right. Well, it's a good try anyway for Michael. I think we got to give it away.
Thank you, Michael.
All right. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Michael. Thank you very much, sir. Very nice meeting you. Yeah. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. You know, we would like to... Walter Matthau in a minute. We'll be right back. Give these kids a hand, and thank you very much. Okay. Here with me today, this is Joyce O'Leary, who is from Gloria Marshall's Dandenong Salon. Joyce, what got you started?
Well, Dawn, I was desperate. After my 6th child, I was up to a size 22 and I weighed 210 pounds. I was feeling very unfit and unhappy about myself, so I had to try something.
After your 6th child. Yeah. So then you called Gloria Marshall, right?
Yes,
Right.
after seeing an advertisement on your show,
On here?
yes,
Oh, that's good.
I was convinced that if I was to lose weight, it would be at Gloria Marshall's.
Okay, well, why don't you stand up, and we'll let the audience have a good look over here, and the audience see what Gloria Marshall did for you. Okay, how much weight did you lose?
Dawn, I lost 70 pounds and I'm down to a size 12, and that was in just 6 months, and I feel fantastic.
That's beautiful. 70 pounds, and you went from a size 22 to a size 12, is that right?
Yes.
Sit down, Andres. That's good, right? Okay, there's the living proof. What about you? If you have a figure problem, don't hesitate. Pick up the phone and call Gloria Marshall. She's got the answer. But remember, the results only start the moment that you do. So call 4 Gloria Marshall salons in Sydney, 6 in Melbourne, and they're also in Geelong, okay? And you can do just like Joyce did. We'll see you in a minute. Gloria Marshall Figure Salon. Thank Thank you. Welcome back. Actor Walter Matthau has given many memorable performances. Ones you would remember, probably Oscar the cigar-smoking, ash-spilling, lovable slob in The Odd Couple, Whiplash Willie, the shady, conniving lawyer in The Fortune Cookie. He won an Academy Award for that one. The lovable old man in Koch, the crusty old vaudevillian in The Sunshine Boys with George Burns. The list just goes on and on. Well, Walter's latest, he plays Sorrowful Jones, a world-weary, wise-cracking bookie trying to resist the innocent but the beguiling charms of a 6-year-old little girl in the movie Little Miss Marker. Right now, Walter is waiting in our Los Angeles studios to talk to us by satellite, so would you give a nice hand to the very versatile and very talented Mr. Walter Matthau. Thank you. There you are. Ah, nice, you see? Ah, yes, they love you in Australia. Walter, welcome to Australia, even if it's only via satellite. Is this your first visit?
This is indeed.
Yes. I was interested to read, and I was never aware of this before. I don't know why. And if I get the pronunciation wrong, I'll kill myself because I've been practicing all day. Your real name is Walter Matthau. How close was I?
No, you're very far away. My real name is Walter Matthau.
Ah. Where does Matthau come from?
Well, my father,
Yeah.
his name before he changed it some 15 years before I was born, his name was Matushansky. The other name is totally unfamiliar to me. It may be a name that I used in Earthquake when I was hoodwinked into playing a role that I had no idea was going to run through the picture. I thought it would be a 4-second cameo, but it was not. And so I said, would you please use the name of Walter Matushansky so that people would not know or be confused, at any rate, as to who I was.
But you seem to want to do that all the time. I mean, putting on or sending up the press and doing things. There was a quote from Time magazine that reported that you said that your father was a defrocked Russian Orthodox priest who had to flee Tsarist Kiev in 1906 because he had been preaching sermons in support of Pope Pius X.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what he told my mother. And my mother repeated it to me. And since he is and was my father, I believed him, and I still do. But I never put on the press. The press only thinks it's being put on when the truth stands before it. The press is very unfamiliar with the truth, and they don't know how to react to it.
What about your early beginnings? You were born on the Lower East Side of New York. Was it a tough neighborhood that you came from?
It depends on the relativity of the word tough. Compared to a lion's cage full of hungry lions, no. It was an easy neighborhood.
Right.
Compared to your average neighborhood of your average kid today, it was very tough. Compared to the situation in Iran, it was not very tough.
What about a young man who wanted to be an actor? Was it tough on him from that neighborhood?
Very tough.
Right.
Very tough. Anybody who wanted to be an actor was a little bit fruity. A little bit either fruity or not right in the old noggin. Nobody in his right mind wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be a salesman. That would be the top objective. Or perhaps an accountant. An accountant or a court stenographer.
A court.
Or if you were brilliant and you had a father, you could become a pharmacist. But that would require 8 years of schooling, and that was very tough.
Right.
Very tough indeed.
What was the decision on your part to become an actor? Were there any early influences there that made you want to, or was it something you just decided on your own?
I never decided that I was going to be an actor. It seemed to be thrust upon me. I got a job working in some Italian-speaking theaters when I was a kid. Then there were Yiddish-speaking theaters, and then there was a Russian-speaking theater. It was all down on the Lower East Side where they had a lot of the ethnic groups willing to pay 50 cents to see a play in their native tongue. I sold ice cream and I sold cold drinks at these theaters, and then I got jobs on the stage doing super work where I had 1 or 2 lines. I always felt comfortable in a theater, and I still do.
Yes,
and I guess that was a big influence.
Things from your early days, or things at least that I have found out about Walter Matthau. I saw an interview that you did in England with Michael Parkinson one time, with George Burns. You were talking about Sunshine Boys, and you said that a lot of the walks that you use and mannerisms that you use in some of your characterizations come from relatives. You used your uncle's walk or was this another fabrication and I've fallen in? Wait a minute.
No, there are no fabrications, Don. I tell the truth. My problem is that I tell the unvarnished truth. And the unvarnished truth always sounds, to today's audience, like some sort of put-on. Yeah. But it is the truth. What is it you wanted to know? Where I got my walks from?
Yeah.
Well, I get them from different people I see and have seen throughout my life. I know in one particular play, A Shot in the Dark, I used my mother's walk. I used my mother when she had to go to the bathroom desperately. She had a certain kind of walk under those circumstances, and it worked very well for the character I was playing because he was a billionaire Frenchman who probably didn't learn to walk until he was 43. And if you learn to walk under those circumstances, you do walk peculiarly. That was only one circumstance, but it's very important to walk a certain way, as in Little Miss Marker. Sarah Stimson from Helotes, Texas, walks exactly the way I do as Sorrowful Jones, the bookie, in the movie. But she is remarkable insofar as she's picked that up just seeing me once. And
Sarah Stimson
picked up my walk.
I should explain for some people, Sarah Stimson, of course, is this little 7-year-old girl who is Little Miss Marker. This is there she is there. This is a remake of an old motion picture, Adolphe Menjou and Shirley Temple, from many years ago.
Well, I like to think that it's an original, although...
Well, it would be.
Yeah, it was done by Adolphe Menjou and Shirley Temple, and then it was done by Bob Hope and Lucille Ball. Naturally, Lucille Ball didn't play the Shirley Temple part. I don't remember who did. Then there was Tony Curtis and somebody else in another make. But you see, this particular, it never should have been called Little Miss Marker because it is a totally original story. And it is a story of a little girl and an old bookmaker and their adventures together in a very singularly hostile and unfriendly environment.
You as the bookie in this film, you sort of inherit this little girl, though. I mean, she is left with you.
Yes.
Yes. Well,
she's what is known as a marker. She's an IOU, collateral for a $10 bet.
That's right. A marker in America means that's your IOU on a bet. Meantime, I think maybe we better have a look at a little performance here. Here's Walter Matthau and lovely little Sarah in a scene from Little Miss Marker. Have a look at this.
Go ahead and tell me you didn't eat any supper.
That's all right.
Regret didn't feed you?
I don't mind.
I suppose you're hungry.
My daddy says eating too much is bad for you.
He knows a lot about horses, too. Want a donut?
Yes, please.
Or you want some cornflakes?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, what? Which?
What kind of donut?
Kind with a hole in it. What do you mean, what kind?
Sugared?
Listen, kid, this isn't a restaurant. They're plain.
I like jelly donuts, don't you?
You want a plain donut or do you want cornflakes? Make up your mind.
Can I have both?
Goddamn noise.
And there, of course, is Sarah Stimson. That's the young lady who plays Little Miss Marker. We're all looking at you now, Sarah, down here in Australia. Why don't you give them a wave and say hello, Australia?
Hi.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I understand you've never acted before. Is that right, Sarah?
Right?
Yes. Who told you that you should act in this motion picture?
The door... No?
Was it your
Speak
mother?
up, Sarah.
Huh?
Speak
What?
up, Sarah.
How?
I don't know.
You don't know. Was it nice working with Walter Matthau? Did you like working with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I was...
You got to call him Don. Yes, Don.
Oh. Yes, Don.
Thank you, Sarah. Was it hard for you to be an actress in this picture?
No, Don.
Oh, okay, Sarah. Would you rather have been doing something else, Sarah?
No, Don.
Sarah, what are your favorite things to do, Sarah?
Play with my friends.
Mm-hmm. Do your friends know that you're a movie actress?
Yes, Don.
Mr. Matthau said in an interview that he smacked you on the bottom when you got bad. Did he smack you on the bottom when you did something wrong?
No, Don.
No. Walter, was she hard to keep in line?
No. No, Don.
Okay, now we'll move to the $16,000 level. Here's your next question. Walter, what is she like? This is her first time as an actress, and according to that little piece that we saw of performance, she does very, very well. Were you surprised?
No, because we did a screen test on her, and we watched her, and we knew that she was a natural. We knew that she looked like what we wanted, a Mideast terrorist.
Sarah, do you know what he's talking about now?
No, Don.
No. Sarah,
Yeah?
are you going to do another movie? Tune in next week when Sarah gives us the would you like?
Maybe.
All right, let me put it to you this way. Did you enjoy acting in this movie enough that you would like to continue with it and do some more?
Yes, Don.
Yes, you would. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Walter?
Yes, Don.
Good luck with the picture.
You got to be very careful with Sarah, Don, because she has a battery of lawyers sitting behind the cameras watching her every move, and she's very careful as to what she says.
Well, they don't really have to worry. She didn't move much.
She's practicing for the diplomatic service.
Walter, thank you very much for joining us with this interview. Good luck with Little Miss Marker. It looks like it'll be a wonderful picture and a lot of laughs. And by the way, just one last question. I noticed early in your movie career you were a villain, and then you went on to play some romantic leads. You don't really look like a romantic lead man. Do you feel like a romantic lead man?
Don, if you were a girl, you would know.
Thank you very much, Walter Matthau, and little Sarah Stinson. All the best. We'll be back with Kamal in just a moment. Thank Walter Matthau. Will you, Sarah Stinson? Good stuff. Thank you very much. Welcome back. You know, I find over the years that some of the funniest things that happen on this show happen when we don't really plan it to happen that way. When we finished that interview with Walter Matthau, we went to a commercial break. And during the commercial break, of course, when we do satellite interviews, I take the chance to say goodbye to everyone. But something really funny happened then, so we'll just play it for you. It's just a little bit of a tag ending, which has nothing to do with anything. It's while we were off air. And you have to listen very closely because I only happened to hear it, and that's what triggered things off. This is what happened when we finished the interview, went to commercial. Listen to this.
Yes, it's over, Sarah. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. Okay. And yes, and be sure and take care of yourself.
I will.
Okay.
You too.
Okay, Sarah.
You too.
Goodbye now. See ya. Goodbye. Okay. So long. Take. Bye, Walter.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Don.
Bye.
Bye, Don.
Thanks, Walter. Okay. We joke a lot about our next guest, Kamal, but we never mean to be unkind. In fact, we always enjoy having him on the show. I want to show you this. This guy puts out an album. He's probably the only artist in Australia that can put out an album, and it's probably gold the minute it goes out. I mean, this is going to be gold if it isn't gold already. This is his new album. It's called Treat Her Like a Lady. That's the title song from it. It's also a single. So there's only one person. That's this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamal singing his new single, Treat Her Like a Lady.
Hustle and bustle of the day, most of us are inclined to miss the little things that mean so much. A word, a smile, a kiss. Because when a woman loves a man, he's a hero in her eyes. And a hero he can always be, as long as he realizes and he remembers to touch her when she's lonely, tell her how he needs her, say things like one and only and forever. Send her pretty flowers, be gentle as you lead her, adore her every moment you're together. Treat her like a lady, hold her warm and tenderly. Treat her like a lady, and a lady when she's broken, tell her how you love her, do little things so easily forgotten. Don't She's your princess wearing either lace or cotton. Treat her like a lady. Hold her warm and tenderly. Treat her like a lady. And a lady she'll always be. Touch her when she's lonely. Tell her how you need her. Say things like one and only and forever. Send her pretty flowers. Be gentle as you lead her. Adore her every moment you're together. Treat her like a lady. Hold her warm and tenderly. Treat her like a lady. And a lady she'll always be. Treat her like a lady. Treat her like a lady. And a lady she'll always be.
Isn't that good? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. Very pretty. Thank you, Kamal. Excellent. You may have, it was advertised that Sharon O'Neill, who's one of the top New Zealand vocalist, was going to be on the show with us tonight, but we had some problems with time, availabilities, overcrowding on the program and so forth. Well, she'll be on in a couple of weeks, I suppose. She'll be back with us again, and it'll be a treat for you to hear her, too. She's a great artist. Let me tell you about Thursday's program, okay? Bob Hawke. He's a man in the public eye at almost any time, and I've wanted to talk to him for a long time. And on Thursday night, I'll be doing just that. He'll be coming in to join us for a casual chat and a few surprises, and maybe we'll be showing you a side of Bob Hawke that you're not used to seeing. And also this lady in her first live Australian appearance, Heidi Gersh. That's the 27-year-old East German ballerina who defected whilst on tour in Australia. Heidi will dance solo for us for the first time on Australian television, so you be sure and be watching. I talked to her a couple of weeks ago, and she is really a delightful girl. Also, two of Australia's finest musicians, our own musical director, Graham Lyle, and the maestro himself, Tommy Tico, are going to present a number for us, so that'll be a treat as well. So join us. That's this Thursday night. We'll be back with The Wheel in just a moment. Me and Bertram had a lot of fun. Hang in there.
On Don's Wheel tonight, you could win this exciting new Toyota Corolla CS manual sedan, valued at around $6,300 on the road. Your new Toyota comes to you with the compliments of Pit Stop Motors of South Yarra, St Kilda and Elstonwick, one of Australia's leading Toyota dealers. And Pit Stop Motors want your business. And imagine a week for two at beautiful Wanderers Paradise Resort on Queensland's Whitsunday coast. A luxurious Melanesian-style unit, flying there and back with TAA the friendly way, the Airbus airline. And from Crystal Pools, you can win $1,000 cash. Crystal have been building quality pools for over 23 years, and that makes Crystal the company you can count on. And a choice of either an exquisite diamond pendant, diamond ring, or diamond earrings to the value of $1,000 from Theodore Fine Jewellery, the most beautiful diamond jewellery in Australia.
Don, time is against us.
No, time is not against us. I
important.
refute. No, I haven't seen you all evening. I am not going to rush through something just because time is of the essence.
Very bella
Can I
photography.
have one for just my wall, please? Thank you.
Which part of
That's
your
the
wall?
official Channel 9.
There's no room on your wall.
I don't do anything on my wall.
Don't you?
No.
Times have changed.
Yes.
How are you, Don?
I'm all right.
Walter
How are
Matthau
you?
was great, wasn't he?
Walter Matthau.
What did I say?
Matthew.
Walter Matthau.
Can't get your mind off your son.
Some people call him Walter Matthau,
What
don't
have
they?
you done?
What do you mean?
A new hairstyle.
What do you mean?
Is that a new hairstyle?
I've had it cut shorter.
Like, it looks different. But what is it? How can I describe it? It looks neat.
Thank you. What do you mean my hair usually looks neat, doesn't it? The one thing you must say about me, my hair usually looks neat.
No, but it looks good. It looks like you look
Don,
good. What?
what have you done? You've got a lot of grey hair in your... Old Ray, almost. Oh, getting close to the big fire. Pardon?
Snow on the roof, fire in the furnace.
Oh, come on. Would you like to meet our first contestant?
Should I take you down to my furnace and show you? What?
Would you like to meet Mr. Ricky Greenwood?
Hello,
of
Ricky.
Elizabeth
How are
Street
you, man?
in Richmond.
How are you?
G'day, Ricky. John.
You didn't send the envelope in the barrel by yourself. Somebody sent it in with your name on it, right?
Yeah, my mother.
I figured they did. Who did? Your mum?
Yeah.
Ah, is she here with you tonight?
Yeah.
She is?
Yeah.
Where's Ricky's mum? Oh, there she is, there.
Isn't
Hi,
she
Ricky's
lovely?
mum. What did you put? One for each member of the family in, I'll bet.
No, he sent in for me last year and I was pulled out, so I sent in for him this
Hey,
year.
didn't I speak to you on radio last week?
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
You've got to have a tax.
You were on television last year and you spoke to him on radio last week and your son is on here now?
Yeah. It's a fix, naturally. It's a
What the hell is this, the Greenwood Special or something? What are we talking
We were
about?
going to share a tats ticket, weren't we?
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, don't share a tats ticket with him. He never pays off or buys the tats ticket.
Hey, come on. Not a
You
Welsher. I'm not a Welsher.
No.
How old are you, Ricky?
20.
20. Good.
Don't take that from him. You can hit him if you want.
What number do you want, Ricky?
14.
Can't have 14 because Don's team, which just scraped in on the weekend, I believe.
Just a moment.
What was the
My
score?
team did not scrape in. Sydney,
That's
my
a good
team,
walk,
you
Don.
wouldn't understand.
My
It said they wouldn't understand the score down here. 59-5, a steamrolling. They did terrific. Ricky,
did
you've
they
been
play?
proud of them. They played Penrith, the Panthers.
Yeah, is that a pretty big team?
They're okay.
Ah, pretty good. What number would you really like?
21.
21, okay. There it is, around here, down that way, Ricky, and I hope it's a good prize for you.
Hey! Do you believe that? I had a feeling, man. Isn't that good?
Isn't that great, eh?
Do you have wheels, Ricky?
If you can call it wheels, I suppose.
Hold on. Hey, he'll tell you about it. You got Ken Morgan, our friend, is out there. He's been dying to give away a car. How many weeks is this? This must be a long time.
I think the longest, Ken has had to wait to give a car away.
Second show we gave
Second
one away.
show of the year. Well, how many shows have we done?
39.
39. Well, it's 36 shows away. 37 shows away.
Don't embarrass him. Let him
37
go.
is one. That's 16 weeks ago. Now, of course, we're doing 4 for 6 weeks, weren't we?
Yeah, sure.
So that would be sometime this year, I can tell you
Yes,
that.
it was. I know.
No, wait on. It was earlier this year.
We don't want to try to pin you down.
Okay.
Okay, right.
I hear that a lot. Okay. This is, Rick, you'll love this. It's the exciting new Toyota Corolla CS manual sedan. The value is around $6,300 on the road. Your new Toyota comes to you with the compliments of Pit Stop Motors of South Yarra, St Kilda and Elstonwick, one of Australia's leading Toyota dealers, and Pit Stop Motors want your business.
When you get over there, they give you... Ken picks the car out already, doesn't he?
I think you've got a choice of colour. I think you can choose the colour.
He'll
What
pick
colour
it up.
do you like?
White, maybe.
White, yes. And what's your second choice?
Red.
Yeah, they've got a lovely Charisse there with a purple stripe just down the side, which I think Ken will talk you into. No, really, it's a magnificent car. You'll love it.
That's the one he talked me into.
That's right.
Which I got from your yes, your aunt.
Sure.
Can I have the question?
Oh, certainly. I beg
Sorry,
your
I
pardon.
didn't
Don,
mean
I'm
to-
sorry.
That's okay.
Pardon me?
Yes. This is the way it works, okay? I have a question in here, and I'll ask you the question, Then I'll give you 30 seconds think music. Don't answer it right away, okay? And you think for 30 seconds. Then I'll come back and I'll ask it to you again, all right? And then you give us the answer, and if you get it right, you get to go to Ken Morgan and get a car from him.
And if you don't get it right, your mother will throw you out of home. But don't answer first up, Ricky, whatever you do. Listen very carefully to Don's question. If you want to translate it, I'll do it for you. And then we'll have 30 seconds of music, but don't answer until the end, when Don asks it for the second time.
Excuse me just a second. Would you mind standing here just for a moment? No. Conference time.
Which one?
Conference time.
Oh,
yeah, it's too tough. He's...
20. 20. A young 20 or an old 20? Film. Do you like films? Movies?
Not all ones.
Not old ones.
Not all ones. Have you,
What do you like on geography? I'm sorry, no?
Go ahead.
What do you like on geography?
Not too good.
Not too good.
Oh,
I think you're going to be thrown out of home, Ricky. The one I'd go for, I reckon... Do you reckon the first one? I reckon the second one, because I reckon he might just fluke it.
Yeah?
Because it's a well-known book. It's a... The man's got that black thing out again. Look at it.
Listen, I'll tell you something. You pointed at me the last time I was sterile for a week. Now get that out of here.
Don't do it. Kamal's out there crying. Don't do it.
Okay. You say the second one.
Right, I reckon so. I hope I've done the right thing by you, Rick.
Okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
It's a book that was written by a movie star. We want to know who the movie star is that wrote the book, okay? Now, the name of the book is The Moon's a Balloon. The name of the book is The Moon's a Balloon, and it was written by a famous movie star, okay?
It wouldn't be a clue to say that he wrote a follow-up too, and he...
Called the horse... What was it called?
Bring on the Empty Horses.
Bring on the Empty Horses.
Very well-known actor, has been around for a long time, but it's not unfair on you. At 20 years of age, you would have seen his movies, even like more recent ones in real theatres and things. So good luck.
Anyway, the book is called The Moon's a Balloon. We want the name of the actor-author of that book. You get 30 seconds to think, Rick.
Do you think you know?
I don't know. I'll ask the question again.
I hope so.
Huh? Wait a minute. Wait, what'd you say, Mick? We're not allowed to help.
I didn't
okay.
help. I
No,
just
we're
got
not.
his mother's phone number. He didn't know, which is very embarrassing.
Who wrote The Moon's a Balloon?
David Niven.
You got it!
How did you get that?
Also tonight on Don's Wheel, you have the chance of winning these fabulous prizes. You could win this three-piece Sava Boston Lounge Suite. The value is around $1,200 from Sava's one-acre showroom in Dandenong plus national distribution. Also, the matchless Pfaff electronic sewing machine with more inbuilt features than any other in the world. The value is $840, and the incredible time-saving Pfaff rotary ironer is valued at $820. The total value, $1,660. And this new Viscount pop-up caravan, easy to tow and easy to stow. The value is around $3,000 from Doug Thorley Viscount of Faulkner, Australia's biggest independent dealer. Pop up. And see it sometime. And also a week for two at Rest Point Hotel Casino, flying first class with TAA the friendly way. It's the Airbus airline, including luxury suite, breakfasts, dinner in the revolving restaurant. obviously no lunch, plus $100 worth of gaming chips.
Right. Okay, who we got?
We'll take a break.
Oh, we're
Break
gonna
now?
take a break, yeah.
Yeah, take a break and come back with our second contestant.
Okay, congratulations, Ricky.
Congratulations, Ricky. Well done to you, mate. Don from Upper Lancaster Road in Ascot in Brisbane, Queensland, Mrs. Violet Carter.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Violet. How are you?
Oh, fine. How are you, Don?
Very well, thank you. Nice to talk with you.
Oh, I'm a little nervous having to speak to you on air.
Oh, well, you shouldn't be. Nice weather in Queensland today, I assume?
Sunny Queensland? Yeah.
Yes. Always nice up there. Well, they had some rain up there just recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, the races were off Saturday.
Yes, but it's nice now. Back for the sun again.
They cancelled all the football up there, too.
Yeah, and the races, too.
Did they? The races, too? Oh, the races would directly affect you, of course.
Well, no. I happened to read it in the paper that they would be cancelled.
Violet, we really have to move along fairly swiftly here, so would you say hello to Bert and have a little chat with him, and then we'll pick out a number for you and spin the wheel, my love?
Right.
You're watching us live now, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yes.
What did I just do?
Oh, well, you was talking to Bert.
Oh, how about now?
Turn out, did you?
Yes, I did, yes. Just a minute. Say hello to Bert.
G'day, Vi.
Oh, how are you, Bert?
Good, thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Yes.
A car's just gone off, as you no doubt know. Would you know the answer to the question?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Listen, incidentally, Rick, would you have known the other? What's the name of the stretch of water that separates Australia and New Guinea?
No, I wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't have known it.
David Niven. Torres Strait. Yeah. Okay, Vi.
Righto.
What?
Number 6.
Number 6, good. You can't win the car, unfortunately, but there are lots of other things.
There's plenty of good prizes.
Yeah, your prices. Don't go to bed, whatever you do, Vi. Number 6. Okay. Here we go.
Here we go,
Good
Vi.
luck.
Good luck, my sweet. Vi, I think we're going to send you on a trip.
Yes, indeed.
Have you been out of Queensland much?
No, not much. Not very much.
Well, here's your chance to travel a little bit. Just a minute. Is it travel?
Yep, you're getting on a bus, and guess where you're going?
I don't know, Bert.
Surfers Paradise. How far? No, you're not. We're going to put you on a bus, though. It's a luxury holiday from Australian Pacific, who offer fully inclusive camping and
Watch
hostess.
it.
What do you mean?
What, camping?
Yeah, so what?
Seven?
Oh, don't be silly old sausage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And also, there are hostess-escorted hotel-motel tours. It'll take you throughout Australia and New Zealand on the bus, so make sure you keep the windows up. And it's a special over 50s tours and exciting under 30s generation holidays, Australian Pacific tours. All round Australia you'll go.
That's terrific.
It'll be it's a beaut prize, I promise you. Here's Don.
Yeah, good.
The art of a career. My throat.
The what?
Nothing. I was just Korea. The art of Taekwondo originated in which country?
Oh, let me think. Give us a little clue.
Ah, Grace yourself.
Hello?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Think.
You're trying to think.
Yeah, can you give us a clue?
Yeah, 1 of 3. 1 of 3?
Yeah, 1 of 3, yeah.
Scandinavia, New Zealand, or Korea? Who are you whispering to, me or someone there?
Oh, listening to my daughter.
Oh, why whisper to her? Whisper to me.
Is it Korea?
It is.
Yes, it is. Have a lovely day.
If you'd like to be on Don's Wheel, first number box 333, Richmond, Victoria, 31121. Boy, are we late.
Well, we are, but I think it was worthwhile tonight. We had 2 magnificent personalities on there, Walter Matthau and Michael Parkinson, of course. It's terrific. And when is your program going to air with
I'm
him?
not too sure. Michael said before the show in about 3 weeks' time. He really is a gem to work with. He's very
pleasure.
easy. You know.
Pleasure, yeah.
Of course, you were with him last year, weren't you?
Yeah.
Don, did you ring your mum for Mother's Day?
Yes, I did.
You're lying to me.
No, I'm not.
You did
No, the
not.
reason I'm lying is something very funny happened.
What?
Well, my mother just does, I don't know if I should go with it. My mother does strange things sometimes. She gets impulses.
Yeah?
I sent my watch. I called her at 3 o'clock this morning because I was trying to get through, and you can't get through at that hour in America. You phone through on Mother's Day, and it says, we're sorry, due to Mother's Day traffic, all the lines are busy, and you can't get... So I took a chance, you know. I said, okay, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll call. And I got through the first time. And I said, gee, I've had some time getting through to you, Mom. I couldn't. Happy Mother's Day and all that. And we had a chat. And she said, yeah, fine. 6:20 this morning, the phone rang. And I woke. Nobody calls you at 6:20 in the morning. I staggered out of bed and I answered the phone. And my mother said, listen to this. We're having a party. I want you to hear this. And she held the phone out with some man singing a song at this party, playing a piano and singing. And I couldn't even hear it. I'm sort of like going, yeah, it's terrific, Mom. I can't hear it the first time. She came back. She said, did you like that? And I said, yeah. She said, do another one. And she's holding the phone out.
You'd love it.
It's really weird, yeah. We had a nice time.
Michael Parkinson wouldn't ring his mum because in England it's not Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day in March over in England.
Why is that?
Well, that's their own business, I suppose.
Well, I'd write a very nasty letter.
Interesting, isn't it? I thought you might be interested in that.
Why?
Why? Why you be interested?
Why isn't it?
Oh, I think it goes back to I don't know, something that happened in one of the wars, and they wanted to hold Mother's Day earlier than usual. So they held it. Oh, how would I know why they did it? Wish I hadn't brought it up.
I was just going to say, you just made that up, didn't you?
in Jackie Carey, I've got of Federal Street in Footscray, Don.
And I've got Adele Bamford. Isn't there a famous musician named Bamford?
And a jockey too, George Bamford.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary Bamford. Gary Bamford.
Cronulla, New South Wales.
Good luck to you, Don. I'll see you Thursday.
I'll see you Thursday.
Bye.
Okay?
Bye.
Thanks for that. Take it easy. All right. We'll be back in a minute. Got to give away one of them. Hang in there. Thank you very much. Don't forget to join us on Thursday night. We've got the irrepressible Bob Hawke will be here, and Heidi Gersh dancing for the first time live on television, the young lady that defected from the East German Ballet Company. Graham Lyle and Tommy Tico are going to present a number together. The Bushwhackers will be here, Bev Harrell. It'll be a good show, and we'll have ourselves a terrific time. Join us, will you? May I leave you with the words of Walter Matthau, who once met Dolly Parton, then turned to Jack Lemmon and said, and they call us the odd couple. Good night, everybody. I love your faces.